You ever started planning that family vacation, got the flights sorted, only to hit a completely unexpected wall with something as basic as a rental car?
Happens all the time.
Yeah, well, today we're taking a deep dive into exactly that, the surprisingly complex and really rapidly changing world of car rental, specifically on Maui.
Right. And we're going to navigate quite a stack of detailed sources for you. We've got fresh price data, trend analyses, all really focused just on Maui's car rental market.
Yeah.
And our mission here is to pull out the most important sort of nuggets of insight, make sure you walk away truly well-informed, but, without getting buried in all the numbers.
Perfect. And what makes this situation, I think, particularly compelling is what you'd expect to pay for a car on Maui. Well, it might be completely upside down right now.
It's pretty wild.
Let's dig in. So the headlines have been, screaming about a car rental crunch in Maui. From all the sources we've looked at, what's the single biggest thing driving this chaos right now?
Yeah, the primary driver, according to these detailed reports we reviewed, it's a pretty significant safety recall. Chrysler minivans. Hundreds of them, these really crucial vehicles. They're currently just grounded at Maui's Kahului Airport. They're waiting for inspection, for repair, basically shrinking the available rental fleet quite drastically.
Wow, hundreds. That's a huge blow, especially for families, right? I mean, a minivan is often the only practical choice when you've got kids and luggage.
Absolutely.
And the information we've seen highlights that this shortage is, and this is a quote, ruining many holiday plans because people just can't find them or can't afford them. That's a real human impact from what sounds like a technical issue.
It absolutely is. And, this isn't just about prices going up. It's a really stark reminder of how one single event, like a safety recall, can create this massive ripple effect.
Right.
It exposes these surprising vulnerabilities in a market like car rentals. It just shows how quickly, consumer choice and price stability can just evaporate when supply gets disrupted like this. And it pushes the price of the few minivans left to, frankly, exorbitant levels. Our data shows them surging above $2,000 a week.
$2,000. Wow.
And it's not just minivans, it's having a spillover effect, too, driving up prices for SUVs as well.
So, okay, minivans grounded, SUVs surging.
Yeah.
Let's bring this down to brass tacks. What's the actual damage to your wallet right now?
The data we pulled for a one-week rental from Maui's Kahului Airport starting tomorrow, July 14th, 2025. It paints a very mixed picture, doesn't it?
It really does. What's quite remarkable is the contrast. While prices for those larger vehicles are, through the roof, others are actually dropping.
Really? It's like what?
Well, for example, we're seeing economy cars at a remarkably low $260 a week from Payless. That's actually down 5% from just last week.
Okay, $260. That sounds more like it.
Right. And midsize cars, they're also down slightly, 1% to $398 a week from Thrifty. So some relief there.
But then you hit those larger categories, and the story just flips completely. SUVs, you said they were up.
Up a hefty 60%. Now, 888 Solars a week from Dollar.
60%, yeah. And the 7-seat SUVs, they rose 24% to $1,270 a week, also from Dollar.
Ouch.
And those recalled minivans, last week, totally sold out. This week, they are showing some availability at an astonishing $2,030 a week from budget.
$2,030. That's almost, 8 times the cost of an economy car for the same week?
Exactly. It really underscores this stark contrast in the market right now. You've got that sort of normal seasonal dip playing out for the smaller cars.
Right, the post-holiday slump.
Exactly, but it's just completely overridden by this recall-driven surge for the larger family vehicles.
Makes sense.
Oh, and interestingly, convertibles. Remember they surged last week. They gave back about 30%, settling at $634 a week from 6XT.
Yeah.
And Jeeps are up, but more modestly, just 6% to $609 a week from budget.
Okay, so this mixed bag is truly fascinating. Is this just, typical market fluctuation, things bouncing around? Or are we maybe witnessing a more significant shift here? And maybe more importantly, what does this tell us about what travelers can expect in, say, the coming weeks?
Well, our analysis points to basically two opposing forces at play here. On the one hand, we are seeing that typical seasonal dip that often follows the Independence Day holiday week.
Okay.
This is pretty recurrent. We saw it last year, summer 2024, and it was consistent in a 5-year price tracking study they did between 2013 and 2018.
Right.
So this usual dip is definitely impacting economy cars, midsize cars, convertibles, and to some extent, Jeeps.
But that minivan recall is really messing with that usual flow for the big stuff, right?
Precisely. For larger vehicles like minivans and SUVs, the safety recall is just overriding that normal seasonal dip. It's a stronger force right now.
So does that mean travelers needing those minivans or big SUVs are basically out of luck for any potential savings from, say, waiting a bit longer?
Yeah.
Is there any silver lining for them?
Unfortunately, it seems like for those specific vehicles, yeah, the recall is the dominant factor. Our forecast, which is based on advanced reservation prices as of July 6th, shows that for, typical cars, prices did peak with July 4th, and they are dipping now before probably settling into their expected summer range. However, for minivans and SUVs, we really anticipate prices might continue to diverge pretty significantly from that pattern because of the ongoing recall and just the lower supply.
Okay, tough news for families needing space. Let's tackle two really common questions, though. Every traveler asks these. Is it cheaper to book a car last minute in Maui? And, the classic, does it cost less to rent off airport?
Right.
Because I've always operated on the assumption. Book early, save money, and off-airport's always the budget play.
Yeah, that's definitely the common wisdom, isn't it? Oh, and what's really striking from the data, looking at advanced booking prices tracked from mid-December last year to May this year, there's this counterintuitive trend, especially for those expected busy times like Memorial Day and Independence Day. Our data reveals that the advanced prices for those holidays actually, quote, fizzled down to a much lower level for last-minute bookings.
Fizzled down. So booking late was cheaper for peak holidays.
Apparently so, in those instances.
That's incredibly surprising. So let's connect that to right now. For a rental starting tomorrow, July 14th, the price available today. You said $260 airport, $238 off airport for economy.
That's right.
That's significantly lower than what was available 5 weeks ago, which our sources clocked at $329 airport and $294 off airport.
Correct. Quite a drop.
Does our data shed any light on why this is happening? Why would prices drop last minute for peak times? It seems backwards.
It does challenge those assumptions. The research doesn't pinpoint one single cause, but it highlights the phenomenon. It also reveals some interesting dynamics for off-airport rentals, too. Historically, yes, they were expected to be lower.
Because of airport taxes and fees, right?
Exactly. Mandatory taxes, convenience premiums added at the airport, things like that.
But the figures we've analyzed show that historical pattern has been disrupted recently. Off-airport, often higher than airport prices.
Yes, in recent months, that's been observed frequently.
What's going on there? What's behind that shift?
Well, one possible factor that's suggested in the materials is that maybe the off-airport locations cut back more heavily on inventory, maybe operations too, especially in that difficult business environment after the Lahaina wildfires back in August 2023.
Okay, that could make sense. Less supply off-airport, driving prices up sometimes.
Potentially. And as of this week, looking at the numbers, off-airport prices were lower than airport prices only in two categories. That economy car we mentioned. And minivans, though minivan availability is still the main issue there.
Right.
For every other category, midsize, Jeep, convertible, SUV off-airport prices were either higher or, well, there was just no availability at all off-airport.
Okay, so the off-airport is cheaper. Rule is definitely not a given anymore. Good to know. Let's broaden our perspective a bit then. With all these unique dynamics playing out in Maui, the recall, the price weirdness, is it the most expensive Hawaiian island for car rentals right now? You'd kind of think it might be, that minivan crisis?
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you? But it's actually quite remarkable how the data contradicts that assumption. We looked at a quick survey for a one-week rental starting tomorrow, July 14th, across all the major Hawaiian airports. And despite its local challenges, Maui's Kahului Airport at $269 a week for the cheapest option was actually the cheapest airport out of all 5 major Hawaiian airports.
The cheapest?
The cheapest, for the second week in a row, actually.
Wow. That's quite a disparity. It completely flips the perception, doesn't it? So who was most expensive?
Honolulu. By a lot, $755 a week, which was up an inexplicable 81% just from the previous week.
81%. Whoa.
Okay, yeah, massive jump. And Hawaii Island's Kona Airport also saw a big increase, up 31% to $522 a week. So in that context, Maui really stands out as a surprising deal for a standard rental right now.
Definitely puts things in perspective.
Indeed. And it just highlights, again, the critical importance of checking current, real-time data. General perceptions, what you think you know about a place, might not reflect the very fluid realities of the market.
Good point.
And it's worth noting, too, Maui had held that lowest price position for 12 weeks straight earlier this year, from about late March to mid-June. So it has a history of being relatively affordable compared to the other islands.
Interesting. So, okay, we're relying on a lot of specific numbers here, percentages, week-over-week changes. How reliable are these insights? How is all this detailed price data actually gathered? It sounds like, a massive undertaking.
It is quite comprehensive. The methodology behind these insights seems pretty robust. The sources explain they've been tracking prices weekly since July 2024
Okay, weekly.
across 7 different vehicle categories, compact, midsize, Jeep, convertible, SUV, the 7-seat SUV, and minivan
Right.
from 10 different rental companies, all at Maui's Kahului airports. Pretty specific.
10 companies, wow.
Yeah, and they're tracking for the lowest price economy car category. That goes back even further, over a year to July 2023. Plus, there was that comprehensive 5-year price tracking study from 2013 to 2018. The average results from that help inform their understanding of the sort of baseline seasonal variations.
Got it.
So yeah, it's this really extensive data collection that allows them to spot these, frankly, fascinating trends and give us the precise figures we've been talking about.
Okay, that does sound thorough.
Uh,
So, stepping back from all the details then, what really stands out to you from this whole deep dive into Maui car rentals? I mean, we've seen how one recall can just turn a market on its head, how booking patterns get scrambled,
yeah.
even last-minute deals popping up unexpectedly.
Yeah, I think for me, the key takeaway really for any traveler listening is just challenge your assumptions.
Mm,
What our data dive into Maui shows so clearly is that in today's really dynamic markets, the old rules of booking, always book early, off airport is always cheaper, they're just not guarantees anymore. Not always. Specific real-time data is really your best weapon, your best tool for making informed decisions, especially when you run into these unexpected market shifts like this recall.
exactly. Be flexible, check the current data. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it, in this age of algorithms, dynamic pricing, constant market shifts, how many other seemingly minor disruptions, like one safety recall, could be quietly reshaping our travel experiences, hitting our wallets, and just completely flipping our understanding of how things are supposed to work?
It's a great question.
Yeah. Something to maybe ponder for your next trip, perhaps.